Hello, everyone. Are we ready to start? Do we have, Mr. Gunnaran is online. That's great, Commissioner. Anyone else? Okay, people, we're going to have a meeting. We have a quorum. So, thank you, Mr. Yates, confirming the quorum. I'm calling the meeting to order. And I acknowledge that we are located on the traditional territory of the Lilquito people. And I'll take a motion that the agenda for March 26, 2025 regular meeting of the Strathcona Gardens Commission be adopted as presented.
So moved.
Okay. Well, I think we can make any choice you want, Mr. Yates. Any opposed? All in favor? That's carried. Petitions and delegations, there's none. Adoption of previous minutes. I'll take a motion that the minutes of the regular meeting of the Strathcona Gardens Commission held on February 19th, 2025 be adopted as presented.
Second.
Move adoption.
Commissioner Kerr, Commissioner Rice. All in favor? It's carried. Any business arising from those minutes? Any public considerations? I don't have a report from, well, I have a small report. I got to enjoy going to the gardens for one of the playoff games and strolling around the facility because your security is very good. They won't let you go until it's intermission. She stopped me. And got to, everyone was curious about what was going on for the build, and got to take a look at the little diagram, stand that they have of the Recreate. So that was good. But a lot of people had lots of questions. So I don't know whether there's more information that we can leave there, like pieces of paper or something, just for people who wander through. In any event, that would be my report. Thank you very much. Thank you, Commissioner Kerr.
Second.
Any questions on that? All in favor? Okay, carried. Staff reports. We've got a staff report. We're going to get a presentation?
After it's received.
Okay, a motion to receive the report from the CAO regarding schedule of fees and charges.
Move receipt.
Yes, Commissioner Rice?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Gelbrand.
And Robin and his crew will speak to this.
Thank you through the CAO to the chair and the commissioners. In December of last year, we presented a budget case study, and part of that budget case study was to fund the budget case study with increases to fees and charges. We've also done some housekeeping in fees and charges as well, and just a quick presentation just for some highlights. Second slide. One thing we wanted to do is we wanted to clean up. One thing we noticed when we were doing programs or registrations, we still have lots of patrons that are renewing passes, 10 visit passes and that sort of thing. So we wanted to move away or move towards a renewable pass so that it would automatically be renewed after a 10 visit or a month, and then there would be a little bit of a fee decrease for that, and then it would just smooth things over at the administration office because it can get quite busy at times. And then it'll just reduce the amount of times the admin staff have to take payment. And then just the average increase for the fees and charges is an average of about 10%. So as for swim and skate lessons, one thing to note, like group lessons that we do with one or two instructors in a large group, we didn't increase those fees other than the 10%. And then our private lessons, we did increase. It's up to 25 to 50%. Those fees are pretty low, but it is one-on-one instructor time as well. And then our wait lists are really long for private lessons as well. So it just helps control that.
Yeah, I can add to that. I did have a look at our lessons coming up in the arenas for the next few months, and we are, it's unusual to see it this early, but we are fully booked all the way until June for the privates that we are offering in the arenas.
And then just for aquatics and fitness fees, minor adult and commercial lane fees, we adjusted group fees and then followed standard bylaw increases. So and then just for swim meet fee. So one of the things to note for the swim meet fee, it used to be like $153 for a whole weekend for a swim meet. So, that's been adjusted to, I think it's $600 for each day. And just for reference, it's still below most of the facilities out there, and it recovers a quarter of the cost to put on the swim meet. And then just the fitness and rehab, there was housekeeping there. We removed a lot of fees that were no longer used, and then we added fees that reflected the services that we provided.
I would just add to what you're saying about the swim meets. The difference between those and what we do at tournaments on the weekends in the arenas is that we're still able to offer drop-in skating in the arenas on the weekends through those tournaments, and that's something we can't do with the full closure of the pools.
And just for ice fees, same thing. We just standard we followed the standard increase of like 10%. The one thing to note in here, our allocation update that we did a couple years ago, we did note that for summer ice, all users will be paying the mixed rate, which is an increase for them. And it's just to cover the increased utility costs to maintain the ice during the summer months. We gave them a year notice, so they are aware of that. And then this year is the first year that comes into effect. And then just we don't get a lot of dry floor requests. We did reduce some of the dry floor offerings, in particular for the leisure ice in Arena 2. That ice is only going to come out every 3 or 4 years anyway. And we want to encourage people to rent those spaces when they are available. And then just the junior hockey rate, there's a couple of changes in there. We've included a business rate for board signs with the junior rate. There wasn't in there before, and it's under the business rate, which is the highest rate. And then the game increase, they pay $40 or $84 a game. And then we've proposed an increase of $840, which is 1,000% increase, but still below many of the teams in the VIJHL. Some of the teams that don't get attendance like we do, they do a bit of a hybrid where there is a percentage on ticket sales as the fee for the game. So that's something that just preps us for negotiations for the next season.
And then something else that we've added is a dressing room rental fee. For a number of years now, we've had a lot of requests from some of the, not so much from the user groups, but from people that will host different camps through spring break and summertime, and they want to have a room available for more than 24 hours or just for their ice booking. And we have the ability to do that in Perfect Mind and make these bookings far in advance. And it just saves a lot of time from an administrative point of view, and it just makes everything run, or will make everything run much smoother from an operations standpoint.
And we've got some meeting space and board change fees. As I mentioned, there's a junior board sign rate now, which is the same as the business rate. There are some arenas that leave it at business rate. There are some arenas that do have a hybrid where there is a junior club rate, which is a little bit less than the business rate. And then just several meeting spaces have been comped to user groups. But these rooms are heavily used. They require a lot of maintenance, painting, floor prep, setup time, administration time to book the room. So we have added a minimal fee, at least to cover the administration cost. There's also a daily rate with those as well. And then we've got there's some other rinks out there that have a board rink sign change fee. So we've added that. It's $65. Previously, this was just comped to all the groups. We've tried for several years with the groups to coordinate when the ice is out in the arena to do these changes. So now we've recommended that there'll be a 1 month, July of each year, where it'll be no charge. And then outside of that window, there'll be that fee. And it does take a couple of maintenance guys and at times scaffold or equipment to change these signs.
And as well, you know, having dead ice to be able to do that, which is harder to come by these days than it has been in the past.
And we're happy to take some questions. That's sort of the highlights, some bigger changes that are in there.
Well, thank you for the report. Questions from the commission members? Yes, Commissioner Rice.
Thank you, Chair. I have a question about the automatic renewal. Personally, I despise them. I think it has something to do with age that I forget that they're out there. So I just want to make sure that if there is going to be automatic renewals, how easy is it for people to make sure that if something got renewed that they didn't want, that they could back that transaction off very quickly?
We've put some language in there about the cancellation because there's, you know, if you go to a public gym or a private gym, it's pretty onerous to cancel your membership. It could take months and months. So we've put some pretty clear language in there. We also are going to have some staff instructions regarding some points in this the bylaw update regarding that after so many renewals, you know, on the file, there'll be a note to talk to the person when they come in, or if they haven't been in a while, that we will contact them and ask them if they're aware of this and if they remember and have they been using it. So there is a process there that we did talk about to make it so that nobody's getting any surprises.
One more question, thank you. The other thing is most of these renewals done on a credit card?
Most of them are done on a credit card, yes.
So again, it has to be easy so that people can change their credit card info when, I mean, our credit cards are only good for how many years?
Yeah, no, correct. And our the software that takes this information does automatically indicate when there's a change. So it's easy enough to catch the person when they swipe their card at the administration office and then make the adjustments.
Okay. Another follow-up?
Yeah, go ahead, Commissioner Rice.
With respects to retaining credit card information, is there a policy on that?
Well, we currently do it now. We have information on file. It's just not automatically renewed.
Okay. I have an issue with that.
Did you want to make a comment? Like, do you want to?
The issue that I have is that credit card information is not supposed to be retained by any vendor. And if it is going to be retained, it needs to be retained in a way that protects, you know, the credit card holder. And I know that it's challenging because, again, you know, we give out our credit cards and we expect that, you know, we don't expect to see a charge coming on it, you know, after the fact for like things like an auto renewal. So I don't know what the solution is, but, you know, I really despise coming from a background in IT security. I despise when vendors hold on to
experienced any challenges with them.
You know, I understand. Obtaining credit card information, what are you doing to secure that credit card information? Because again, you know, we go back and we all make purchases online and, you know, we have to be diligent with our credit cards to make sure that we're not getting credit card breaches, and it happens. And I suspect, and I don't know when the last time the SRD did an actual security audit, but perhaps maybe that's the next step. I know the city has done security audits, and it's important to make sure that, you know, credit card information is being retained in a secure manner.
The current system that we use is used in other facilities, and there is automatic renewals currently in place, but we will look into it.
Okay?
Yeah, of course, no one wants to be offside any law, and I'm sure this is going to be a larger SRD issue, and staff will come back to us if there's something that we need to address in terms of developing a policy. Or did you want to make a motion following this? Okay, we'll have to deal with the receipt, and then perhaps you have a follow-up. Any further comments? Thank you, Commissioner Kerr.
Thank you. Just a question for our teams. They've all been notified of this increase, so it's not a surprise?
Well, they will be notified after it's approved.
Okay, so they haven't had a heads up yet. There's no
No,
feedback?
but if I can, I mean, we have a contract, you're talking about the storm? Yeah, we have a contract with them, so the fees and charges wouldn't, like the rental fee wouldn't affect them because we have an agreement with them. I think what we're trying to do is, we're in the last year of that agreement, I believe. We just renewed it. So aligning our fees and charges up for next year in terms of what negotiation. And just to give some context around that, yeah, it seems like a significant increase, but for the 4 hours or so that the storm have the ice, the total rental fee is $84. And then the regional district doesn't receive any revenue from the boards, from the tickets, from the alcohol sales. So if you can imagine, you get the arena for $20 an hour, which is massively below industry standards. So I think we're just trying to align our fees and charges up for when we negotiate the next agreement, that our fees, and if the board or the commission wants to change those at the time in a contract, they certainly can.
Any further comments from commissioners? Yes, Commissioner Gunrid.
I'd like to thank staff for the report. It's very in-depth, and it's something that was needed. Some of these standards have been pretty low for a while and need to be brought up with the industry standards. So thank you for the report.
Yes, Commissioner Rice, you have anything further, or your light's on?
No, sorry.
I had only one question, and it arose because of commentary that we were so booked up with respect to the private swim lessons. So if this comes into effect, does it impact that, or when is the effective date of the new the changes in rates? It's going to be a bit out, isn't it?
So perhaps I can speak to that, Madam Chair. Any recommendation from this commission would have to go to the board and be put into the form of an amendment bylaw. So we're talking at least a month away. I'm not sure if that answers your question.
Well, they said they were booked into June, so that's why I was curious. What happens with those people who booked under private lessons and their rates go up? Is that just where rates have changed, you have to decide if you want to continue with your private lesson?
We would honor the agreement that's sort of in place. And then the fees and charges, there are parts to it, like for users, for example, the hockey season's ended. It doesn't really take effect until September of this year anyway. But it'll sort of be a smooth transition.
And so we won't collect, advertise, or promote any new fees and charges until the bylaw is passed. So anyone that's registered or paid for a program, they'll pay under the existing bylaw.
Thank you. Okay, no further discussion. All in favor of receipt? That seems to be carried. I don't see any opposed. Is there going to be a subsequent on anything else? No. Okay, thank you. Now we're at the helmet policy. So, we have a subsequent. Okay, yes, we need a subsequent. That the commission recommend approval of the proposed changes to the Strathcona Gardens fees and charges contained in the March 21st, 2025 report from the CAO.
Second.
Who made the motion? Oh, Commissioner Adahl and Commissioner Rice. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? That's carried. So now we're at the helmet policy. So can I have a motion that the report from the CEO officer be received? Thank you.
Second.
Yep. Commissioner Dahl, Commissioner Rice. Any discussion?
Just to summarize the report, after the last meeting or the last time this was discussed, we took it back and we looked at ways where we could still be responsible with certain activities on the ice and then still meet or address the concerns raised. And we feel that there's a draft policy to review, but we feel that activities like drop-in hockey, pond hockey, skating lessons, school groups, birthday parties, day camps, these are all really busy. There's the mixture of different types of skaters out there. We feel that that would apply to mandatory helmet, and that a public skate, it would be voluntary to wear a helmet, and we would still educate and maintain helmets that patrons could use for that activity. We feel that's kind of a win-win for everybody.
Any discussion from commissioners? Yes, Commissioner Dahl?
Did we just simply look at what any other rec centers are using? There seems to be the majority on the island not having mandatory helmet rules. So I'm just wondering if one of these is similar to what, say, they're doing in Souk or Comox or Port McNeil.
Yeah, going with this policy and how it would operate is very similar to a lot of other recreation facilities on the island. We're basically just identifying all the higher risk activities. Obviously, hockey is one of those, and people that are in learning environments or new to new to being on the ice. And yes, it is very similar to other facilities.
Anything further? Hearing none. All in favor of receipt? Any opposed? Is there a recommendation to take this up? Okay, thank you. I don't see it on my paper one, so, because I don't have the rest. Oh, thank you. Is someone move an option? Yes, Commissioner Dahl?
I'll move option A.
Second.
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Dahl, Commissioner Rice. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? That's carried. Now we're talking about the updated EV charging stations. So a motion to receive the report from the CEO.
Move receipt.
Thank you, Commissioner Penrod, Commissioner Kerr.
Sheena will speak to this.
Thank you, through the chair to the commissioners. So we originally brought an agreement with BC Hydro to you all to review an option for 4 UV or EV chargers. There was comments received after that report to see if we could add additional chargers and to see if we could improve the location of the charging stations to be a more visible location, especially during nighttime hours. So we took that to BC Hydro, and they had actually changed their policy to now where they want to enter into agreements for a minimum of 8 chargers. So that aligned well with what we were looking for. And we evaluated the various options that provided some of that better visibility. And Hydro selected one that is parallel to the property line shared with the RCMP in that southwest corner. And that was selected due to visibility from Dogwood, proximity to the RCMP. We could not orient them along the Dogwood interface because there was not enough space within that road allowance. So this was sort of the compromise to that. The rest of the agreement is the same as what was previously presented, where BC Hydro is entirely in charge of the operation and pays all of the dedicated hydro costs. So they're off of their own feed. So pretty minimal risk to us. So again, there's no changes in the agreement, just increasing the number of stations and improving the location. So there's a couple options in the report, and I'm happy to answer any questions from the commissioners if there are any. Thank you.
Open it up to the commissioners. Any questions? I don't see any, so all in favor of receipt? Any opposed? Are we going to move an option? So I've got a subsequent under B that the commission recommend that the Strathcona Regional District enter a 10-year license of occupation agreement with BC Hydro to install and operate an additional 4 public EV charging stations at the Strathcona Gardens Recreation Complex. Commissioner Kerr,
So
Commissioner
moved.
Dahl. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? That's carried. So now we're talking about the Recreate Rod Brindamore Area Design Pinecrest Access, that the report from the CEO be received.
Move receipt.
Yes, Commissioner Gunrod, Commissioner Dahl.
And I believe Wolfgang will speak to this.
China will speak about this report. Thank you.
Thank you. Through the chair to the commission. So during the design of the Rod Brindamore Arena redevelopment project, we had to navigate the fact that there's an easement in the northeast corner of the property that provides access to the school district's administrative building that is adjacent to us to access their parking lot. The easement is a binding legal agreement that cannot be broken unless through consent of the school board. The arena design encroaches towards that property line considerably to achieve the improved spaces and amenities, which will restrict access through that laneway, which will also restrict access to the school district to their parking lot. We have had preliminary conversations with school district staff to discuss this situation and propose solutions, which is to provide a dedicated access for that parking lot off Pinecrest. School board staff were quite in favor of this as they think that it will address an issue with people parking in their parking lot who are accessing the arena, which is something that they would like to avoid. So we think that'll go over very well. Also noting, because the arena footprint is pushing so far towards the east, that we will need some construction maneuvering room to actually build it that will actually push us onto the school board property. So we would also like to request from the school board a construction access easement to facilitate that. That easement will not impact their parking capabilities. It'll just take out some landscaping that currently divides the 2 parking lots. If we are not able to secure that easement, it will likely impact the cost of the Recreate project because we'll need to bring in additional specialized equipment in order to build it in a more confined area. Considering the fact that we have to level that for construction, it does provide an opportunity to consider requesting a permanent easement from the school district to reinstate a lane. At this time, we're anticipating it will only be a one-way lane exiting the facility just due to space constraints. Without that permanent access and reconstruction of that lane, we will only have one access off Dogwood for the facility once it's done. So we do feel that it would improve access and egress to the facility and some redundancy if there was ever any blockages off of that one access off Dogwood. And in reinstating that easement or that lane shouldn't impact the cost of the project because we'll have to level it for construction access and then reinstate it to original conditions if the easement isn't granted in perpetuity. So at this point in time, we would like to begin these negotiations with the school district. The Board of Trustees must hear our request, and in order to do that, we do need a resolution from the board. And so we are recommending that we ask for them to release our easement, to grant us the temporary construction easement, and then to also grant us the permanent easement for that lane access. But if that access is not desired, we could certainly not have that on the table. So just looking for the commission's views on that and whether or not you would like us to include that in the resolution. So the resolution, again, does include sort of all three requests, but amended if needed. So happy to answer any other questions if there are any.
It's open to the commissioners. Any questions about the request here for staff to proceed? Hearing no questions, all in favor of receipt? Any opposed? That's carried. And so a motion now that the commission recommend that the Strathcona Regional District we make a formal request made to School District 72 to release the SRD from legal easement VIP 51667 and grant a permanent easement over a portion of the northwest corner of the School District 72 property at 425 Pinecrest to facilitate the construction of the Rod Brindamore Arena expansion and provide a secondary access point for the facility. Commissioner Dahl?
Second.
Commissioner Kerr? Any discussion on that? All in favor? Any opposed? That's carried. So it looks like we're going to get another update on our construction. So motion that the report from our CEO be received.
Move receipt.
Second.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Grunwald and Commissioner Rice.
Good morning, everyone. Through the chair to the commissioners. Today, as in my previous monthly updates, I will be sharing the progress made on the aquatic and wellness projects, including key developments, upcoming activities, financial status, safety, and risk monitoring. So project progress. Significant progress has been made over the past month with the building beginning to take shape. Construction activities remain focused on the technical corridor level, including waterproofing of the exterior walls, which is the black layer that you see on the east exterior wall in the photo that is being projected right now. It is important to note that the north exterior wall adjacent to Pinecrest is not built yet. Is currently used for access from all the heavy equipment that is required. Cranes, excavators, and any other type of equipment, including materials. So right now we have casted the east, south, and west walls, and we're waiting for the north one, and that wall will be built once we have the structural steel in place. I'm happy to announce that the lap pool and the leisure pool is well underway with subgrade preparation, formwork, water, stop installations, and pouring of footings, walls in progress. Mechanical and electrical rough-ins are also ongoing, making an important next phase on the project. So what you see in this photo, just below that piece of wood, you can see that white strip, that's the water stop, that's where basically the wall will join the slab inside the pools. This photo was taken on a very busy day on site where we had concrete being poured on those walls. And yeah, you can see rebar installation as well in those walls. A little bit of a better, different photo from a different angle where you can see on the far side the lap pool being built, and also on closer to the east wall where we have all the mechanical and electrical rooms being built, including stair number 2. Great news about making progress. You can see the leisure pool, the foundations being casted as well on the same date. Some of those structural walls for the lap pool were being poured. We anticipate that these walls are going to be formed and casted within the next couple of days, continuing with the whole pool and the wellness pool. So this photo shows some of the mechanicals blockhouse. These blockhouse are going to be installed on the formwork, and basically those are the openings that are required for mechanical and electrical components. The next will be a video that is a time lapse, a little bit different to what I have done in the past. Sorry. Yeah, a little bit of improvement from my previous videos. This is courtesy of Heather Bray's Builder, so I'm really happy that we have this. Yeah. I just wanted to say that I'm happy to change the music if you don't like it. I cannot change the progress of work. And we were able to sneak a camera in the building without Robin's permission, so yeah. Sorry. So upcoming activities for the aquatic and wellness project, installation of insulation and drainage mat on exterior walls. Those walls south, east, and west are coming up. Well, these materials are required to make sure that the technical corridor remains dry once the project is built. We're going to be placing concrete on the lap pool walls. We anticipate that those walls will be completed within the next couple of weeks. Forming rebar installation and concrete placement for the leisure pool walls. Anticipate that will be completed by the end of April. All the mechanical and electrical roofings for lap and leisure pools are right now under installations. The backfilling for the pool and the leisure pool is anticipated to come pretty soon, and 3 weeks from now, that's when we think this is going to start happening. We're definitely going to start forming, this is a big milestone, forming the suspended slab on the south side of the aquatic center, and then we'll continue with the suspended slab on the north side of the aquatic center, which is going to lock the entire building and allow us to start with the erection of the structural steel, which is scheduled for July, with structural steel coming to this site in June. So right now, those pieces are being manufactured, and testing in the shop and in the field will commence pretty soon. Field inspections and materials approval is ongoing, so we have all the related engineers coming to the site just to verify that the work is actually meeting the design that they delivered to us, writing inspections to us, and making sure that everything that needs rectified is happening. Materials approvals, where all the submissions are being done by the trades and the general contractor, and the consultants are reviewing and approving critical materials to make sure that we keep the project on schedule. With regards to financial management, engineering staff continues to closely monitor the project budget to ensure financial accountability and cost control. Regular reviews of builder claims, consultant invoices, and procurement strategies are in place to align spending with approved allocations. So this is really important. In response to the potential tariffs, we're taking proactive steps to secure critical materials. So we have an advance payments made in the past week for structural steel, steel stock coatings in wet environments, wood finishes, and reinforcing steel. This is to make sure that we secure those materials to keep us on schedule as well. This proactive approach helps us maintain budget stability while keeping the project on schedule. Any financial risks or unforeseen costs are being carefully assessed and managed to avoid budget overruns. So here are the numbers. We have, again, $69.9 million is the total project cost. We have three main contracts, one with the builder, one with the architect and the prime consultant, the engineering group. And we have additional, and we have other costs that we basically, that's owners, consultants, testing agencies, contingencies, insurance policies, and all that kind of stuff. So right now we have construction cost $4.45 million. Yesterday we approved a progress claim of $2.1 million. This was not included in the report that you received because that report was issued last week, but will be included in the next supplementary report. We have a contract with the prime consultant and the engineers for $1.38 million, and right now they have a claim, and we have approved $455,000 out of the $7.7 million that we managed to other consultants and other things related to the project. We have paid for $194. So total project costs paid today is $5.4 with $7.7 of 100%. So the project is on budget. Sorry. Before I get into questions, I just want to provide a quick update about risk management. Maintaining operations of the existing facility during the construction is a high priority. In response to recent earthquakes in the region, we engaged the surveyor to do some control to the monitoring points that we have on site. And so far, no settlements issues have been detected, and we continue to monitor the situation closely to mitigate any potential risks that could arise. We also asked head of Bray builders to make sure that after these earthquakes that they do the own inspections, and they have confirmed that there has been no damage to any of the structural components that have been poured already. Just to finalize, and I know this is really important to us, to the project, this is related to safety. Safety remains a top priority, and I'm pleased to report that there have been no incidents on site to date. The project team is committed to maintaining a safe work environment by enforcing strict safety protocols that adhere to Works ABC practices. The builder and the trades are conducting regular inspections, holding safety meetings, training sessions, and proactive hazard assessments to mitigate risk and reinforce a strong safety culture. With regards to the project timeline, the Aquatic Center is still on track for completion in September 26. We're only 16 months away to open doors. The Wellness Center is scheduled to open in spring 2027 with no changes to these timelines at this point. With this, I conclude the update for this month, and I'm happy just to respond to any answers or questions that you may have.
Well, thank you very much for that report. It's so nice to be sitting in a government organization where things go so smoothly and so well so far. And questions from the commission? Yes, Commissioner Kerr.
Thank you, Chair. And yeah, I agree. It's nice to have really positive reports. In terms of anticipated overruns with the tariff and all that stuff that goes with it, I know you're looking at it proactively, but have you seen any? It's all within budget right now, but have you seen any problems at all, or anticipating any problems? Or is it all within contingency?
So the issue with tariffs is they keep changes every day. So, one of the things that we have done is work proactively with the trades and the general contractor. And I have asked recently if there are any changes to that they communicate with us. So far, we don't have any emails from the builder asking us for additional costs for tariffs. This is where we secure those materials to make sure that we don't get hit by those taxes. Things could change in the future, and if anything happens, I'm happy just to provide those updates in the next commission meetings.
Great. Just one other question. Just looking at the plan there, the pools, are they going to be backfilled, or are they freestanding and that's all open? Is it a suspended slab there and it's all going to be open underneath?
Yeah, the pools will be backfilled to the base of the pools. Mm-hmm. So the backfill for each of the poles is different. The depth for each of the poles varies. When I talk about the suspended slab, is basically when you enter the facility where you're standing. Yep. That's the suspended slab that is going to pour. So soon you're going to see that, which is going to level up with the existing facility. So that's going to be, there are going to be two major concrete pours. There's going to be a concrete slab on the south side, which is going to be poured first, and then the concrete slab on the north side. So that's what we call
open cavities underneath, like rooms?
That's correct. So you're going to see that below the suspended slab, there's going to be the tanks, and there's going to be an incredible amount of people working below that and working above the suspended slabs. So you're going to see people working, erecting the structure steel, and people in those tanks doing all the piping to pour the slab on grade for each of the poles, and also all the tiling and all the finishes that are required. It is anticipated that we're going to have at some point at least 100 workers working in this facility, which is coming up. I think it's going to happen anytime between August and October.
Exciting. Thanks.
Any further questions from commissioners? So I was just sort of whispering over here to Mr. Yates about future sort of involvement of the community or particular decision makers, like bringing in physicians and various rehab people to sort of have a heads up before completion so that they know what's coming, or at the time of almost completion, sort of a VIP tour. Is there anything in the budget like that, or is that something the commission would sort of have to recommend to get rolling?
I think we could probably accommodate something like that within the current budget. I think that's just time. So I think it's a great idea too, because, we want to make the community aware of what's going on. And obviously we have agreements and contracts with health authority and doctors. So no, that's a good idea. And when we get to that point, we can make sure we look at that.
Thank you. Okay, so all in favor of receipt of the report? Any opposed? That's carried. And we have a further supplementary report from the CAO to be received. Who's making that motion? Thank you, Commissioner Dahl.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Rice. Any further discussion? It's pretty self-explanatory. Any further discussion on that? All in favor? Any opposed? That's carried. Am I correct now? We're looking for a motion for termination, that the March 26, 2025 meeting of the Strathcona Gardens be terminated.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Gilliland. Thank you, Commissioner Dahl. All in favor? Any opposed? That's carried. Thank you very much for participating.
Thank you all. Have a good week.